Hello, everybody. Speaking of Tron, we got that going for you.
Mono Red Tron.
Mono Red Tron, so not quite traditional. What is Armando looking to do in this game?
It is Pyromancer's goggles and what is it? The Banefire?
Like Blasphemous Act.
Yeah,
And
so
yeah, both
Blasphemous
Banefire, he can target the player.
Yes.
Blasphemous Act hits the stuffy doll.
Yes.
Okay. And Steven, we have Grixis Session.
Grixis Dash Shadow, yes.
Alright, so we have a fairly obscure strategy versus a pretty well-defined strategy. What do you think is the pros and cons of Armando versus Steven in this matchup?
So the pro for Steven in this is that I think he can be faster than this Mono Red Tron deck. The con, though, is that he gets his life total down so low that Armando doesn't really have to work to kill him off. Because normally Armando has to have a certain amount of red to be able to do 20 damage to you. But in this, he'll only need like maybe one red and then Tron lands and he's good to go. He's done.
Absolutely. And explain how Tron lands work for the people out there.
So there's Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower. When you have all three Tron lands, they pretty much activate one another. So Urza's Tower gives you 3 colorless mana, and the other 2 give you 2 colorless mana. So altogether you get 7, but you have to have the 3 Tron lands together on the field.
Right. And there is a Tron variant that is doing pretty well. This would be the Tron variant that Brittany plays herself.
Eldrazi Tron.
Yes. Eldrazi Tron has kind of taken this whole personal, like, I have to have Tron to win. And, like, Eldrazi Tron does not need Tron. Exactly.
Whenever like you play against a Mono Red Tron, which relies on the Tron lands, when you see them pop an Expedition map, they instantly go in for a Tron land. When you see Eldrazi Tron playing, when we pop Expedition maps, we go in for Eldrazi Temple.
Right, your whole deck becomes like, we can get Eldrazi Temple. I've even seen some people grab the one that lets you draw a card.
Secret Wreckage? I've done that
Secret
before,
Wreckage.
because if you have no cards in hand, this card is so good because you can just tap it and keep drawing a card if you have no cards in hand.
Absolutely. We're going to have to keep up with Steven's life total a little bit here.
Yes, Steven does play fast, so Thoughtseize.
Right. So he's going to shock a Watery Grave, and he's going to play a Thoughtseize. We'll get a look at Armando's hand. He has an Ulamog, a Hangerback Walker, Tormenting Voice, and a Wormcoil Engine, and a Chromatic Star. Yeah, Steven wishes.
We wish. We all wish.
That's the world I want to live in.
So he's telling him you can keep the Ulamog, you can keep the Tower. It's between Hangerback Walker and Chromatic Star because I believe Armando does play Ancient Stirrings.
Right.
In this?
No, he took the green completely out.
He took the green completely out?
Hangerback Walker does seem like a really good foil to Steven's deck, where it's like, I now have a blocker, and once I do block, I now have attackers.
Yes.
Right?
But yeah, I think that was the correct choice just because...
Star is the only thing Armando's hand has going for it
yes.
currently.
Well, and it's also, it gives him...
There's a sphere.
Because it gives him the red mana that he needs to, for example, be able to play this Tormenting Voice that he has in hand.
If anybody misses, Steven cycled a street right there at the end of Armando's turn.
Yes.
It's going to pay 2 life to draw
when
a card.
we said he plays fast, we're not joking.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no problem with that.
Oh, no.
Grixis Death Shadow does have a lot of decisions that need to be made, so playing faster is actually in your advantage because when it does come down to the decisions, you have more time.
Yes.
Right? And your opponent doesn't feel like you've been grinding out the clock anyways.
So we're going to see Polluted Delta from Steven here, I believe. Yep. He has a Fatal Push in hand, which Fatal Push doesn't really do anything here.
It's not the greatest card. It does reliably deal with like Ballista, Hangerback Walker, any of these like XX creatures. And presumptively, Steven's going to shock here. It's going to give him his red source of mana.
Yes.
Because he does have a basic swamp in hand.
I also believe he has a red card in hand, which I assume is the Bolt.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not on this app.
Yeah.
So I like that Armando here just plays with his hand open. He's like, you've seen it. It's okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't need to. I'm not going to pick it back up.
Actually, both of these players are X1. So
yes.
We've only gone through the first round, so they're 0-1. I didn't know what Steven played against last round. Was it Merfolk?
No, he played against Ryan. And Ryan, I believe, is playing either Abzan or his green-white hate bears.
Okay.
No, he changed it to mono-white hate bears.
Yes, mono white.
Yes.
A little bit more land destruction, which can really cripple these Grixis Death Shadow decks.
Yeah.
They're kind of land light. I usually see 3 to 4 lands on the battlefield. Unless they're playing Brad, then there's like 20 lands on the battlefield, because that's how long it takes.
Oh, and we see Armando John too. His red source. He is going to go ahead and play his Hangerback Walker.
Right, so he's going to play Hangerback Walker as a 1/1 here.
I don't know if I would have done that, or if I would have...
And Steven was really looking to put some counters on.
I know. He's like, let me do this for you. I got you, buddy.
I'm pretty sure he said it's better for the camera. Thank you, Steven.
He's going to Fatal Push it.
Oh, absolutely. And Armando's going to net 1 Thopter.
I think Brewer here Fatal Pushes it while he can before he makes it any bigger and he gets more Thopters out of it. So...
I'm such a fan of Hangerback Walker as a card, because I remember when it came out in Origins, no one played it.
No, I remember, yes.
And that one guy played it in SCG, and everyone was like, oh wow, this card is probably one of the best cards to come out of Origins besides Chase, right?
So, Beldair said, curse my lack of car. I'm sure I'd get a lot of help from everyone at Ettin Games. He's a new player, apparently, and he pulled 2 transforming artifacts. I wish you could come up here because, yes, you would get a lot of help here. We actually have, like, pre-made decks already for people to be able to play, and a lot of people here are really nice, and they'll let you borrow their decks. Like, I've already offered 2 or 3 people to play my modern decks, so...
Oh, yeah, we have actually a surprisingly nice community. Been in the area for a really long time. There's been some bad communities. All right, so we have a Tasigur, a Cycling of a Street Wraith, and then a Death Shadow.
So
I like that line from Steven because it allows you to use the get the Street Wraith back with Tasigur, and it actually just becomes a pump spell for the Death Shadow.
So Armando is going to go ahead and play Tormenting Voice. He's going to draw into a
Mountain and Faithless Looting.
So he's going to crack for red.
Yeah.
Draw a card.
So that's an Ugin in hand, but not any more Tron pieces.
So draw 2, discard.
Stuffy Doll?
2 or
yes,
3?
it's draw 2, discard 2. Faithless Looting has been described as card disadvantage because it is you're spending a card, you're drawing 2, but you're also discarding 2. So you technically lost 1 card.
Yeah.
But the selection is fine enough for a deck like Armando's, especially if he can get it off Pyromancer's Goggle. He doesn't have to meet the Tormenting Voice, he doesn't have to meet the discard requirements.
So he decided to keep Chromatic Star and Stuffy Doll, which I think is fine here.
Right, because drawing into any more lands, he can hopefully just naturally find the combo, which would be Stuffy Doll plus Blasphemous Axe.
Deer Park. Where is Deer Park at?
Deer Park is... Wow, I used to know people that lived in Deer Park, but I have no remembrance of where it is.
Yeah, one gaming store was close to him, but it closed a few years ago.
Oh, that is no absolute bueno.
No. I remember when Bad Wolf closed. I got really sad about that. I actually kind of liked him.
But she loves us.
I mean, obviously, I do commentate for them. Wait, did Steven just bolt himself?
Oh, he for sure bolted himself.
Oh my god!
Oh, that is a saucy line of play. I respect that.
Oh my god.
Good on you, Steven.
Only
the bolt's
Brewer.
not doing anything else in this game,
It's
to be
not.
fair. Right? So it acts as a pump spell for the Death
I feel
Shadow.
like only Brewer would do that.
Oh, I've heard it. I've heard it in a tournament. Bolt targeting myself, and you're like, oh, okay, Death Shadow player. Right?
Oh, okay. So Deer Park is between LaPorte and Pasadena. It was Willpower Gaming.
Willpower Gaming. I've heard that name. I've probably been out there for some sort of event.
We've been to a lot of
I
places for
travel
events.
way too much. I've been to a lot of places in the U.S. for events, so...
Alright, so we're getting in here for 11. So Armando's going to fall 9.
Wow.
Aw, and Steven only had a... Oh! Okay, so this is the Stuffy Doll, and then there's a Banefire. All he's missing is the Pyromancer's Goggles. Okay, there's Chromatic Star.
I am not a specific fan of Armando's deck just because it takes so many pieces.
It does take a lot of pieces. Like, more pieces than a normal Tron deck should, use. Okay, so he's going to flashback Faithless Looting.
Right, because he cracked the star for a mana and then tapped 2 more mana.
Okay, so you keep the tower. Oh, he's like, no, I'm just going to
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm just not going to win this game. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the requirement of having so many pieces. It's a reason why I love Ad Nauseam, because Ad Nauseam is one of those decks where it's like any 2 of these cards just wins me the game, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not any specific pieces. I've won off of, like, spoils Phyrexian Unlife Laboratory Maniac more times than the natural way that the deck wins.
I love when people play.
Oh, just 1 second, everybody. Okay, so if anyone knows about this, there's like, I've just been getting calls from a bunch of zeros. It is a phone number worth of zeros that has just been calling me. And when I answer, it's just static. So I'm almost positive that Anonymous is trying to recruit me. They may need a Magic player, but...
Hey, I got you.
Right. Right, that was an open invitation from Brittany that you could blow up her phone instead of having me try to answer calls from zeros.
Oh.
Steven's looking at Liliana of the Veil here as a possible option because Armando... You have to think he's not going to have many creatures out at any given point.
Well, and another thing
about my gosh, that's Rabblemaster.
Yes, but another thing about this Liliana is that, like, Armando already has so much, like, draw, discard, that he can just continuously make Armando discard the cards that he drew.
Exactly.
That Armando just gets no value out of
Armando's
these.
making specific selections, and you get to tell him that the cards you decided to keep are now gone.
Oh, okay. So... Beldair says, now I was told by one of the guys that was a commentator from this. I forgot which of the two guys it was, but they said Chad likes helping new players.
That is true. That is true about me. I would say that now they've grown to the ranks. I'm not specifically big on like I'm more so apt to help players on the clock because outside of Ettin, I know I've had people message me and stuff like that on Facebook before.
Yeah.
I always have something going on unless I'm here.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I'm working while I'm here. Like if Josh was watching, I'm working while I'm here. But I am more so apt to help players if they're able to make it out because
I know when you're off, you're not really up here a lot.
No.
Yeah,
I am sadly a super busy person. So.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, the players that have just stepped into the store have grown a lot.
Quote unquote working.
Yeah, the players that have stepped in the store, we have one out there named Ettin, and he has gotten first in draft a couple times, just having come up here to learn. Yeah. And this kid's a kid.
Yeah.
This kid's like 12, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
And like Cassidy's daughter who plays. We have
right,
a lot
Lila.
of...
And that's on Cassidy because I've known them in the area for a long time. Cassidy has been raising her as a Magic player.
We actually have like a lot of kids that come up here and play too that are wanting to learn and get better. So I think that's really cool to see like the new like generation of Magic players.
Oh, absolutely, and they seem like super nice kids.
Yeah.
This is way nicer than I was. When I used to go back to like old Swords and Superheroes back in the day.
Yeah, me too.
That's where I went out to, and while Steven's trying to figure out his sideboard here, and I used to go out there and there was a store employee named Glenn. And
I remember Glenn. I played Warhammer with him.
Glenn was a super nice dude, but he had a slight temper when it came to Magic specifically.
Un poquito, slight.
Yeah. I like throw his deck across the room type of temper, right? And so I was talking to Ben about this the other night. Oh my gosh, every time we walked in there, we challenged him to Magic knowing we were going to make him angry. It was like the funnest thing as a kid to like watch this. Like it wasn't scary. He wasn't like scary about it. He would just be like, he would throw his deck and then he'd be like, we're done here. And he would just go back to work.
I learned actually at Battle Bunker.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I first started playing like 7 years ago at the original Battle Bunker off of North Park, and I learned how to play there. Man. And DNA.
DNA.
So those were
when it was in the
two
mall,
places.
Right?
No. DNA whenever it had just moved over here. Like,
okay.
Just brand new, moved over to there.
Yeah.
So that's all the places that I got to go.
We've had a pretty rich history of stores.
Yes.
And I can say that what pushed me to start working at Ettin is the environment. I've never walked into a store and been like, wow, just everyone here is family for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, and it's great. It is everyone. It did not take more than one visit for almost everyone in the room to know my name. And that was such a cool thing to me.
And like a lot of us, like we hang out outside of Ettin and play Magic together outside of Ettin. So it becomes like a little family.
Yeah.
Steve, Ryan, Brad, if you're watching this, not you guys. building a collection. I bought the Johnny Planeswalker deck, EM intro deck, Shadowless Innistrad box. So, are you wanting to get into Standard alone?
I feel like, so if I had to make a recommendation for a new player, the best thing that you can do for yourself is draft if you are able to make it out to a store.
Yes.
It builds you up a collection while giving you the experience of play.
And also learning how to build.
Right, and learning like what works, what synergies are correct. And draft just becomes second nature after a while.
Yeah.
It becomes like, okay, I value this card because...
Except for me, I'm still really terrible at draft. I'm not going to lie to you. If you guys watched, like, me building the pre-release, I'm terrible. I'm terrible
sealed.
at building either way.
Even draft.
Draft, sealed, I cannot do it.
Limited in general.
Nope, I'm so bad at it because I look at cards and I'm like, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's bad.
Alright, so it looks like we're past sideboards here. Armando is looking at a grip of a fair amount of lands, a Kozilek the Great Distortion, I believe, and a Lightning Bolt.
So I think the Lightning Bolt is fair here. Move the store closer to me and I will.
If anything, we are moving the store technically farther away from you because there's the possibility that we may be moving.
It's just right across though.
Yeah, it's like 10 feet farther. There's the possibility.
Oh, cross our fingers, because then Magic players get a bigger...
People can stop looking at us like we're the bane of existence. So tired.
It's only some days. I promise.
It's only when we infringe on their play space.
Oh, yeah. Armando's like, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. Cards, oh my gosh. Lands at the top. It's so good.
Oh, man. That's the bane of my existence, is seeing lands at the top.
I love lands at the top, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it just... Alright, so he's gonna get a 15. I think it's from playing Dom's Legacy Lands deck so much that, like...
okay. Well, and that's fair because...
I think he has Tron in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's officially at a place where he can start building up his mana. He doesn't have anything going here. I like cracking the star because either way it gives the same result. I also like tapping a Tron land to crack the star.
Yes. This is good. I was so scared he was going to bolt there for a second. I was like...
Okay, so he's going to play a Hangerback Walker on 1 here.
Isn't it XX?
Yeah, he cracked the star for mana.
Oh, for 1. Okay, that's why I was like, wait, hold on. Armando, what are you doing? Your board state is all over the place. I need you to calm down.
Oh, man. Alright, so let's see what Steven has here. Armando kind of giving us a little bit better look at his hand.
Oh, right. Thanks.
Steven playing a Bloodstained Mire for turn.
I see Kozilek's, oh god. Okay, so I see Kozilek's command. Liliana, Snapcaster.
Right.
So I think he's going to go ahead and fall down to... He's probably going to go down to 12. Maybe. Yeah, so he is. He's going to fall down to 12.
Alright, so he's going to get a Watery Grave untapped here. And... this is the thing that's like kind of why I don't like people encouraging people to have their lands at the top, is because now Armando's confusing himself, right? Like now Armando's trying to figure out what his board state is.
I think that's because Armando, I don't know if he's ever played with his lands at the top, but the way he has it where it's all separated out into 3 piles, like that's...
Oh, have you ever seen him draft?
No.
Oh, don't.
Oh, I feel like it would break my heart.
He puts everything into like 20 stacks.
No, boo boo, no.
Alright, so we have 3 mana here.
I think we're going to say Liliana. Yep.
Alright. So this is Liliana the Veil.
So
for anyone that's unfamiliar. He can +1 to make both players discard a card.
I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah, so he's going to...
And typically you want to both lay your cards face down. Armando's going to bolt here in response to the ability going on the stack. So the reason players put both cards face down as you reveal it at the same time is because if Steven were to discard Snapcaster and Armando's like, oh, okay, I can discard this removal spell, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
so he has Tron.
We have 7 mana, so 3 = 7 is the wonderful part of Tron.
Yes.
I hate it so much.
God, Armando.
Okay, so Hangerback is going to take out that Liliana.
I'm going to teach you how to play with your lands up top. I got you.
Oh, goodness. Alright, so he's going to sack that for presumptively a red. And Faithless Looting here.
Wait, does he not have... He has Power Plant? Oh,
right,
he
so
doesn't.
That's double Goggles.
Okay, so Armando does not have...
He doesn't have Tron. That's 2 different arts of Power Plants.
I would know. I did the same thing.
Oh, no. Yeah, the problem with Tron specifically that I've noticed is there's so many Tron lands out there that people typically get the mismatched arts on accident.
Oh,
and some
I get
people
them
do
on
it on
purpose.
purpose.
I
Yeah.
did it on purpose. I have one of each.
Some people are monsters. It's crazy.
I'm not a monster. I do one of each because, until I get my foils. I've been watching YouTube videos to help me learn deck building. Another thing I would suggest is on Twitch during the weekends, there's always SCG events, and MTG events and whatnot showing the new standard decks, the modern decks that are up to date.
Yeah, what
decks.
people decided to do with the new cards. And you can always check those streams out after you watch us.
Yeah. I like how Chad threw that in there. But you can also, whenever you're done watching us, you can go on YouTube and they'll have them for replay as well, and you can watch those. And those are a very, very good way to learn how to play Magic because you get to see these pro players and how they are able to do it.
Yes, SCG pros.
Yes. Alright, so he's going to Thought Scour himself.
SCG players are better than me, but I don't like classifying them as pros. Because they're not as nice as, Reed Duke. I've met these people, like the actual pros are the nicest people on the face of the earth.
I have never met them. I didn't even know I was playing against the world champion until, after the game, and they were like, do you know who you played against? And I was like, no, I don't really
world
care.
Champion?
Who was it? Who did I play against? It was the Team
Seth
Unified.
Manfield?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There
I thought you were
go.
going to say BBD. I'm like, he's a really nice guy. I've met him.
No.
Brian Braun Dewan, for anyone who doesn't know. Super nice dude.
Aw,
so this is a Gurmag Angler, so he's going to be able to, it is 7, it is 1 black and 6. He's going to be able to delve out a whole bunch of cards here. Strategically, of course, because he may need them for Snapcaster or for Tasker later in the game.
Yes.
He's going to delve out these cards to help cast the Gurmag Angler.
So, yeah.
Which,
so
if you know anything about, Modern and the older formats, almost all the blue-based delve cards are banned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delve is a super good mechanic.
Yes, Treasure Cruise.
Yep.
I don't think it's banned, but is Treasure Cruise?
Yeah, Treasure Cruise is banned.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, that's the
For
first
sure,
one that popped
this
in my head.
this deck would be playing it. All right, so Armando is tapping 5 here.
Steven's like, what is this?
For Pyromancer's Goggles.
Oh my god.
So explain Pyromancer's Goggles while Steven's reading it.
I can't, exactly.
Okay, so he can tap for 1 red mana, and if that for only instants and sorceries, and then he copies whatever instant or sorcery was used.
Oh yeah, there we go.
As long as the instant or sorcery was red.
Yes.
So he can tap for red mana for any instant or sorcery that's not red, but he doesn't get the copy ability. Whereas he gets the copy ability if it happens to be red.
And that's how he's able to, it's the Banefire if I'm correct. That's how he's able to copy the Banefire and deal 20 because he does 10, copy it, and deals 10 more.
Exactly.
So.
Because the instance of what you paid into X gets copied on the stack.
Yes.
Alright, so we have a fetch here from Steven.
And Shock.
And a Shock. So Steven's going to fall to 9 here, which makes any Death Shadow that he could play a 4-4. This Hagerback Walker is going to do a good job of blocking, which is why I'm a fan of the card in the matchup. It does a decent job at just providing chump blockers.
Yeah, I know in Eldrazi Tron there are 2 that are sideboard. I don't ever bring them in though. That's the thing.
I'm gonna need you to get on Armando's level. So that's gonna destroy
He's
the
gonna
goggles.
take the goggles and discard.
All right. All right. So Armando's actually gonna pump the Hangerback Walker in response, and the goggles should still be destroyed.
Yes.
So the Hangerback Walker is a 2/2, but it is not going to be able to block this turn. So
No.
Steven's going to serve him for 5 with the zombie fish. I am a huge fan of Tombstalker. I've seen a couple lists that play like a one of. Yeah.
Oh.
So this the flying delver from Future Sight.
Yes. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Card's super good.
All right. So I saw Armando. He drew an artifact. I don't know which one. So 3.
Checking his graveyard. Oh, he's going to flashback Faithless Saluting.
Okay. That seems fine. I guess that's fine.
It gives him mana to like still pump Hangerback if he wants to, but he probably needs to start blocking. Ooh, Relic is pretty decent. I just heard someone outside call Judge, and it just like triggers me in my head. I'm just like, I need to go out there and correct the situation, but they're adults. They can do it.
They got this. And not to mention, there are people out there that know the rulings on a lot of the stuff. So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay. I think this was a correct choice because he's seen him delve so much.
Right, like he gets to remove Steven's graveyard and draw a card.
Yeah. And the thing about it though is like I just saw Steven's hand. It's another Death Shadow, a Liliana, and a Snapcaster.
Oh goodness. So,
but if Armando times this correctly, if Steven does decide to flash something back in, if I'm correct, he can in response whenever Steven goes to target
whatever he targets with flashback before
relic.
it gains flashback.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Steven should just be attacking.
Yeah.
So he has a 4/4 and a 5/5 that are serving in, and that's
so Armando's gonna fall to 4. We may have missed something.
We may have missed something on Steven's side of things. The Death Shadows may be bigger.
Yeah.
So, I assume that means Steven is 7?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's shocked. He just naturally drew one of those lands and shocked it.
Aw, that's not what you want to see. Armando drew into a land.
Yeah, Steven's deck attacks at so many angles. And like I said, Armando's... as much hand disruption as Steven has, Armando's deck is too combo dependent.
There's so many. There's so many combos that he needs.
Alright, I think he is going to get rid of the relic in an attempt to draw anything here.
I think he needs to. I don't know what he can draw, though, at this point.
Yeah, Steven's board is looking really good. A Blasphemous Axe would be really good.
I think that's what he's scared of, though, because, I don't know. I don't know why he's...
If Armando felt really comfortable in Modern, what I would be worried about is Stubborn Denial.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't believe that Steven has one in his graveyard, but, like, Snap Stubborn is an issue. Stubborn in general is an issue.
So he's going to flashback.
Which Steven may have boarded those out.
I actually think he did.
Yeah, it would be a fair card to board out.
Well, I don't think he saw anything that he needed to Stubborn Denial.
Yeah. Alright, it looks like both players are kind of walking through it out loud, just to see.
So, I feel like Armando could just go ahead and flashback the Sphinx Looting, but I don't know what he could draw that could... that could help him here.
Yeah. Because I don't even think if he drew it that he could play Blasphemous Axe.
No, because he would have to discard the mountain and whatever it is, and then he would have to keep the Blasphemous Act. Okay, so he's gonna do it. Oh, Thespian Stage. Thespian Stage and Ulamog.
You know why he plays Thespian Stage, right?
What does he copy? Tron Land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays it because you play Tron. Well, and a couple other people, but... Basically, our meta has so many Tron players that Thespian Stage was a viable option for Armando. Oh, alright. Let's see if Steven has a response here to the exiling of the graveyard. It may just be Snap Thought Scour.
Yes.
Alright, the Street Wraith land, and looks like he drew a relevant card.
Okay, so wait. Okay, there we go, Armando. I was like, wait, he draws card. Aww.
The Loneliest Tower.
Nope. All right, and
Yeah,
Steven's
this is
gonna
gonna
take
be
this
it.
here.
Steven's gonna take this pretty handily because we saw that Armando didn't assemble many of the pieces that he was looking for.
No, and I've actually seen him do it once because I was playing Eldrazi Tron against him, and I did see him do it once whenever we were playing. But like as we were saying, there's so many pieces to this that it's just.
Yeah, it feels like he's having to assemble some sort of like highly necessary combo.
Yeah.
And that is just like not a good place to be.
No. Oh. So yeah, he did. He boarded out. Steven boarded out the Stubborn and Mouse.
All right, which is fair. Like we said, he didn't see anything he necessarily would Stubborn Denial.
All right, back to this. I've been watching YouTube videos to help me learn deck building. Command Zone. I'm guessing that's for Commander.
Oh yeah, I would
Okay.
imagine.
I can't play Commander Because every time Dom builds a deck for me, it's Doomsday. It's a Doomsday combo every single time, and then no one wants to play against you because you win on like turn 3. So...
Yeah, I remember when like Doomsday was sort of introduced to me, and it was kind of like the fun thing about like Doomsday combos in EDH is that the player just kind of says they won, and you just have to like take their word for it.
And then you just scoop.
Yeah, because they take like a 50-minute turn, and then they're like, I won, right? And you're like, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not really positive
I went outside,
what you did, but yeah, totally, you won.
I went outside, I came back in, you were still doing stuff. I imagine you won, right?
Next game.
All right, so we have Modern today, Modern tomorrow.
Yes.
The Modern tomorrow is going to kick off at 7 o'clock. And we have drafting is underway. So you don't like Limited. I don't like commentating Limited because I don't know all the cards in the set. No. I do, however, I would have to say that if I could pick a format and have to play it, and that be the format that I played for the rest of existence, it actually probably would be Standard. I would have to agree with Steve on this. Modern does have this level of uninteractiveness that like can really peeve you at times. Like Tron. Like 3 = 7 has just I'm just not a fan. Whereas like with Standard, you feel very rewarded for winning. They're like the time period, Jeskai Black time period was like the best time period.
Well, and you get so many new cards so often, but like
right.
I would choose Legacy or Vintage. Those would be my two that I would
see. Here's my personal problem with Legacy and Vintage. Legacy is more fine. It is more so okay. The problem with Vintage specifically, and sometimes Legacy, is that it feels like the decks are all doing the same thing. And the decks devote.
Yeah.
So almost every deck in Vintage, if you ever want to look up Vintage lists, devotes so many slots to the exact same cards because you're allowed to play them.
Power 9.
Yeah.
Literally every single Vintage
Power
deck
9,
has Power 9 in
4
it.
Force of Wills, Mental Misstep. Like, these decks have 1 win condition and 1,000,000 good cards.
But there's like, in Vintage there are, to counteract this, like there are some... like where you can take Dredge Modern and turn it into a Vintage deck. You can take like the variants of Tron and turn it into a Vintage deck. Like there's just different variants to it. They do all kind of do the same thing where they go off in one turn and you're done. You win. That's it. It's not like here's my turn, go. Here's your turn, go. It's literally like turn 1, okay, I win, I'm done.
See, that's like my main problem with Vintage specifically is
there's no interaction really.
That and like if you it looks like it almost seems like a collector's only format. The average deck cost is $40,000.
Yeah, it kind of is.
And that's really for the top. That's me quoting the top tier deck cost. Like if you go to MTG Goldfish, go to Vintage, look up the paper version of each deck. The average deck cost is $40,000.
Or, hear me out, guys.
You play Sneak and Show in Legacy.
Or, what Dom did is the reason why he bought this Merfolk deck, and this is for anyone who wants to get into Modern and Legacy and Vintage, all of it around. He bought the Merfolk deck because the interchanging of it between Modern and Vintage,
it's multi-format.
It's so, it's literally like, okay, stick 7 cards in, take 7 cards out, I now have a Legacy deck. And it's the same thing with Vintage. So, I mean, there are ways to, like, if you don't have a lot of money.
I can say from, like, personal experience, in Legacy, Manaless Dredge was a good option. It's actually a highly competitive deck, and it's like $250 if you don't put the Force of Wills in the sideboard, which it's not necessary to put Force of Will in the sideboard. Because all you're trying to stop is Storm, and you can just play Mindbreak Trap. And... on top of Manaless Dredge, another cool sort of Legacy build that I've seen is like Death and Taxes doesn't seem like it's super bad.
It's not. It's not. You can also do a modern mono red burn in
mono
Legacy
red burn is cheaper in Legacy than Modern.
Cheap. It's so cheap because you don't play the shocks, you don't play the fetches, you literally just play mountains. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy, and you can interchange those too as well. So I mean, like I think that's the one thing. That's why I would keep with those is because you can just interchange them so much.
Yeah. So I am currently on. I'm keeping my current Modern decks around, of course. I'm currently rebuilding. Yeah. I'm currently rebuilding black-white tokens for the third or fourth time.
I saw that deck being played, I think, about 2 years ago, but I never saw it, like, really go ham and do really, really well.
I played... the problem was timing, I guess, for both of the times that I built it before. The first time was during Splinter Twin format.
Oh.
And they would just kill me by the time I was set up, and... Also, Electrolyze is really good against Lingering Souls.
Yeah, that's what James and I were just talking about, too.
Yeah, Electrolyze feels really bad.
Yeah.
But, like, the format after that was when Infect was, like, running rampant. It was, like, all Infect and Affinity in almost every tournament.
Oh, God, I'm so happy those aren't the days anymore. I'm really happy.
Modern is at a good place right now, but I was talking, I think it was Aaron Prido. Shout out to Aaron. I was talking to him recently, and I wish that Modern pulled away a little bit from all these combo decks, and I think it would be in a healthier place. Everything feels like everyone's trying to assemble specific pieces to do something very powerful. And even Grixis Death Shadow just feels like a deck that is trying to assemble a certain life total with a certain selection of cards to do something powerful. Tron, you're trying to get 3 lands, or Eldrazi Temples to do something powerful.
Yeah.
My main problem with Eldrazi Tron, every time I've played against it, is Allus Dust. That is one of my least favorite cards in Modern right now. The fact that it has a type on it is annoying, because for anyone that doesn't know this, they can tap Eldrazi Temple and cast Allus Dust for cheaper.
Yes! Because Eldrazi Temple, it's normally tap 1, or tap to form 1 colorless mana, but if you're using it to play an Eldrazi spell, you get 2.
So what if I told you could tap 3 to 4 lands for a one-sided board wipe? That's what playing against Allus Dust feels like.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. It's no fun. It's no fun at all.
I was thinking about getting rid of my the Eldrazi Tron deck, but like now that I've sat back here and talked about it, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep it.
And like if I were to pull it up, so like I'm gonna pull up MTG Goldfish. It feels like it's sad, but I almost look at the top decks. Valakut, Scapeshift, is doing a very similar thing where it's trying to assemble. It's a turn 5 combo deck, and like this is running rampant.
Yeah.
Where is the format at where it can't deal with the turn 5 combo deck?
Yeah. And I think it's because also a lot of people like just got controllers in here and blue-white controller in here. They feel like those aren't like good enough decks to be able to stop this, which I don't understand how, because you have so much, removal, you have so much to this that I feel like you should.
There is a world right now that we are currently living in where Affinity is 6th.
I like this. I'm okay with this because for a while it was number 1.
It's been number 1 for years.
Yeah, I'm very okay with this.
I'm not okay with this. Somehow Abzan's creeped up back in the meta, and
that's it goes back and forth.
I'm not saying Abzan
I'm
not saying Abzan's a bad deck. It just seems it does. It goes back and forth a lot.
How is Burn at number 4?
Burn's at number 4 because Grixis Death Shadow and Eldrazi Tron are at number 1 and 2.
Be still my heart. Maybe I should rebuild this Burn deck.
Jeskai Control is probably one of my favorite decks in the format right now.
I actually really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Like, I enjoy watching Brad play it and whatnot. Elves! Stop it!
Yeah, Elves is behind Lantern Control. What a world we live in.
Oh, that's actually really upsetting. Lantern Control, stop. Go back to a hole you crawled out of. Stop.
Yeah, if anyone... there was a time period where everyone started to get worried about Lantern Control. And for anyone that doesn't know what Lantern Control is trying to do, don't ever figure it out.
Just don't.
If you want, you can go online and like try to figure out what Lantern Control does. It's terrible.
I'm actually building Green-White Company right now. I got the Nobles, I got the Birds. I am missing Gavany Township. Of all stupid cards, I'm missing Gavany Township and Azusa. Like, I'm so upset by this.
There is a world where I want to rebuild ad nauseum.
Oh, you should.
But like Brad just has it, right? So like
that's true. You can just keep borrowing it. Or
well,
just borrow from me.
I need to find a ritual. He doesn't have a ritual in the board, Piratic or Desperate. Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, ad nauseum is the coolest of the combo decks, and so you should look up how that deck works. Regular old Tron somehow still exists. Blue-red Gift Storm. So this is a story. Like this deck is like was third last week.
I know, it did drop down. I believe it was where Affinity was, Blue-Red Gifts was there. Or Blue-Red Storm was there. Okay. Where Affinity was. Because right now, Eldrazi Tron, Grixis, and Titan Shift have been literally going back and forth almost every single day on who wants to be first. Every single day. Like, it does not change from those 3.
And the thing that makes me sad is, like, the percentage. There is, like, a slight percentage gap between, like, these top 3 and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So, like, everything else is sitting around 4%, whereas, like, all of these are fluctuating between 5, 50, and 6%, right?
Yeah.
Where Eldrazi Tron's pretty high up in percentage.
Yes. I'm so happy. Is this the... Yeah, this is the exact same list that I play, actually. Except I do not play the Basilisk Scholar main, I play it side.
Okay.
Like, it's just so good with Endbringer, and it's so good with Walking Ballista. Like, man.
We live in a world right now where Ratchet Bomb's, like, in the sideboard of the top deck.
Yes! I also, instead of playing 3 Ghost Quarters, I play 4 Ghost Quarters main.
Do we know where Standard's going?
No. Like, there hasn't been... really, I mean, there's
Well, it's been on Magic. It's Standard was unlocked on Magic Online a week ago.
Okay.
So
Tumor Energy, Mono Red, Blue White Control.
I think Mono Red is still putting up numbers. It's got Lightning Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen this Blue White Control.
It plays Approach as the second son as its win condition.
Yeah.
And it has 4 ops now, which is kind of cool. So, like, you can scry the card to the bottom and get closer to the approach. Yes. And this search. This blue search is, like, one of my favorite cards.
Earlier, yes.
Yes, because it lets you impulse on the backside. Yes. Which is so good with Approach of the Second Son. For anyone that doesn't know, Approach is, like, 7 mana? Yes. 7 mana. And you gain 7 life. And then you put it 7 cards down. So 7, 7, 7. And you put it 7 cards down in your library, and the next time you cast an Approach of the Second Son, you win the game.
You win the game.
Yeah. And so now there's so many pieces in Standard that like this search of Azcanta, the second side of Supreme Will.
Yep.
There's
the opt.
Glimmer of Genius. There's so many cards that get you like 4 deep.
Yep.
So you just cast 2 of these cards and you have Approach back in your hand.
I kind of like it. I don't know. I might want to build this.
This is a really cool
deck.
I
might want to build this.
Yeah.
This looks really awesome.
Plays like Hour of Revelation. It plays cats in the sideboard.
Okay, deal. I gotta build this now.
There's not a world where you don't build this deck now.
Oh, no. Jesus.
And of course, as predicted, energy is like still running rampant.
Yeah.
Nothing rotated, right?
No.
Red green dinosaurs. Yeah, I saw people playing around on Magic Online with like red green dinosaurs, which is.
I'm ready to see somebody do something crazy with pirates. That's what I'm ready for.
I think there's a control deck that like wants to exist. I just don't know how good it is. Right. Let's see. So we are coming down to the wire here. Yeah, it is for sure 9 o'clock. So we will be back at around 9, 10-ish. That's not what you do. No one saw that for sure. So.
Yes, we did.
All right. Thank you all very much, and we'll be back with a round 3.